Welcome back. This is the second video on how to draw a maze in Tinkercad that we can print out on the 3D printer. The first thing I'd like to do when I am designing a maze like this is create the pathway for the ball to roll through before I start doing anything else. I've done this on Microsoft Excel, and what you see, the yellow line, is how the ball is going to travel from one end of the maze right through to the other, all the way around there. And by putting that in first, I can build the rest of the maze around it without interfering with this one direct path, and that is the only direct path that someone will be able to follow to get from one end of my maze to the other. Now, if we go back to Tinkercad, I'm going to create two holes that are going to cut out the hundreds of fences that we've built. Now, these two holes are just going to be a box. Bring it out onto there. They're going to be 4mm wide for most of them. We can leave that at 20mm for now, and they're going to be, let's say, 5mm high. Now, most importantly, they need to be 1mm off the ground so that they don't cut right through the maze, and then the ball bearing would just fall out the bottom. So I'm going to lift it up by 1mm, and that's by just grabbing that little arrow on the top. So there is one hole, and that hole will cut a hole in the maze in the, well, I'm going to say the vertical direction, or the north-south direction. So we need another hole that'll cut a hole in the maze in the east-west direction. So now that that's selected, I'm just going to go copy and paste, and I now have another one which I'm going to drag out here. It's still 1mm above the ground. I'm going to grab that there, and I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. Remember, if my arrow is on the inside of the marker there, it moves in very big jumps. If it's on the outside, it moves in very little jumps. If you wanted 67 degrees, you'd have to be on the outside. But I want 90 degrees, so I'm on the inside to make it very easy for me. And there we have our two holes that are going to do all of the work for us during this process. Back over to my template, and the first hole is going to be a very short hole, and it's going to be going east to west. So I'm going to grab my east to west hole and copy it and paste it. That gives me a second one, and we're going to be up there somewhere. Let's just look at this. Now I know that I'm up there somewhere. Right, that's just so I can get a better look at it. Back over to here. 1, 2, we're in the third rail there, and so there's 1, 2, we're in the third. I'm going to just take it up there. Now come in closer so we can check and make sure that we are lined up perfectly, which we are. Now all we want is that one small one in the middle there to go. So if I grab this, I can make it shorter on this side, and if I grab this, I can make it shorter on this side. And now all we're doing is cutting out that one piece with that hole, which we have now done. So back to our template. Now we've got another section that's going to run up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vertically, or north-south. So I'm going to grab my north-south hole there. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. That gives me a second one, and I'm going to put it about there. Now come in closer just to make sure it's exactly in the right place, which it is. But as you see, it's only going up 1, 2, 3, 4. So to get at the next 3, we grab that one in the middle there and just take it up as far as that. So now I've got a hole running horizontal and vertical, and if I go back to my template, I need another horizontal one. So I'll just take this one down here, copy it and paste it, and I can use that one up here. And again, come in close to make sure. See how I've actually missed there? I can use the arrow key to bring it down to perfect, and there's my next horizontal one, and horizontal or east-west. Now we've got a north-south 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 long, and so I'm going to grab this one, copy that and paste it, and just bring it up to there. Now we only want this one to be 5 long, so I'll just bring this down. I'll grab that in the middle, Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which leaves me one shy of the top. And if I go over to here, I'm one too far up there. Okay, so look at that. I've made a blue and I'm one too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my shift key in, see if I can grab each of these, and now I'm just going to arrow them down and take myself into the bottom of the next one. So one more, and there we are. I've just moved it one down and moved that into the right place, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes as long as you want to turn around and fix them, which we've just done. And I now have my first 4 steps. Okay, so now I've got my first 4 steps. There's 2 gaps above the top of that one, and there's 2 gaps above the top of that one. So now we need another one of these, and I'm going to put that up here, right there, and come in close so I can see that I'm in the right place. And as you can see, I'm not, so I'm just going to arrow it down. Perfect. And when I go back to my template, I'm going to go right up to the top there, and that's with another vertical one. So I'm going to grab that one and copy it and paste it and move it into that position. Now as you can see, when I've moved it into that position, it's a little bit too big. So I'm going to grab it and bring it down so that it fits in there. And there is our next piece. So as you can see, I have now placed holes from there, all the way up there, across there, all the way up there, across there, and up there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest. And as I do that, I'm just going to speed the video up so you can see me go right the way through to the end. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is just extend this out a little bit into the wall so that it shows both on that end and on that end that the start point and the finish point without the ball actually coming all the way out. So now we cross our fingers a little bit and I'll just turn it a touch. Okay, and now I'm going to highlight and select all of them, and I'm going to group them, and magic should happen, and there we go. We have our run all the way around there, across there, down. See, I missed that little bit there, so I've got to get that gone, and up and around and down and all the way around there. And something seems wrong here too. Yeah. Yep, see, this one here is in the wrong place. I've missed that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control Z, which will put them all back the way they were. I'm going to take this piece here, and now that we look at it, see, it actually wasn't quite where it was supposed to be. So I'm going to bring it across to there like that. As well as that, so that's now in the right place. There was something funny. That's right, we need that there. So I'll grab one of these ones, Control C, Control V, and I'll bring it up and I'll put it in there. And come in close and just check and make sure that it's exactly where it needs to be, and it is. And next, this one here, that one there, actually looks like it's taller than the others. It looked like that there was a bit left at the bottom, so maybe it's moved a bit. So I'm going to turn, it is, look, see how it's higher than all the others? And if we come around the other side and look at it, you can see that it is actually higher, further up. So if I bring that down, grab that, see, it's 2 millimeters above the ground. And I don't know how that happened, but I'll bring it down to 1 millimeter, and that should fix the job. Right, okay, so again, I'm going to select them all. I missed one. I'm going to select them all. Okay, does it look like I'm pretty sure I've missed one, so I'm going to go again. Okay, I'm selecting them all, and now I'm going to group them all, and there we have it. So when we look at it, we start there, we're running beautifully up through there, up through there. Now when you look at that, we had the ribs there before, they're now gone. That's perfect, it's going around there. We're coming down there and there. There. Oh, see, we've got the ribs on this one here as well, and they seem to be sticking up. I think that one might also be higher than the others. So let's Control Z and let's have a look at it. It is. Look at that. See how it is higher? It's higher than all of the others. So if we grab that one and select it, again, it's 2 millimeters up where it should be 1. So there we go. I'm going to make it smaller. Have a look at it. And again, highlight them all and group. And let's have a look. So that's running fine through there. Everything's running fine there. Around. Cool. Yep, that's perfect. That's perfect. Cool. Okay, so now what you've got to do is turn this, the rest of it, into a maze. And that's your job. And that is the second video on how to make a maze for 3D printing.